Hi everyone, I'm Janet, and welcome to my life story for you. Before I begin, I would like to ask a little favor. Give a like, share, and subscribe to this channel. This small act will go a long way to help us grow, and it will also help us bring more stories to more people. Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever been let down by those that are meant to love you? The same ones that give you pain? Then suddenly, you are rescued by a complete stranger. Well, that happened to me. This stranger saved me. I'm sure you're confused, so let's start the story, so you'll understand why and how this person saved me. I lived with my parents in a small suburban area. I had 3 siblings, my dad a fitness instructor, my mom a former runway model. I have an older brother named Ross, and I also have twin younger siblings, my little brother James and my sister Lena. I was the first daughter but the second born. I don't know why, but my parents treated me differently than my brother Ross. I have no clue what I did to them except I was a little bit fat for my age. I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I was a little bit fat for my age. As for the rest of my family, they were not. My parents prided themselves on looks more than anything. Being the first daughter, they expected me to look pretty and thin. I thought to myself when I get older I would change and maybe my parents would love me and treat me better. Fast forward, a few years later, I'm a teenager now, and nothing has changed. Things have gone from bad to worse. I've gained more weight, my parents hate me even more, and in school, I'm being bullied a lot. My dad pays more attention to my other siblings. He takes them out to show off to his rich friends. He brags about how my brothers have the bodies of star athletes. To anyone who will listen, as for my mom, she's setting my sister up to be a model herself, which my sister hates. As a teenager, I didn't care what they said about me or my weight. I was happy for the way I looked. My boyfriend, Brandon, liked me that way as well, so I was happy. One day when I came home from school, my folks said something that shocked me to my core. They want me out of their house. They said things like, how much of a disgrace I am. The whole community is laughing at them for having a fat daughter like me. I'm unfit to be their child and so on. Hearing those words really hurt. I'm their daughter, but they treated me like trash, always making me feel like an outsider, never trying to understand me, or even comforting me when I needed them to. Nothing. Now that I put on a few extra pounds, they want me out because it makes them look bad. My siblings tried to stop them. They begged them to reconsider, but no, they were set on their way. But since they did not want me out on the streets, that will make them look even worse. They sent me to a long-lost relative, my paternal grandfather. I've never met him before and they never talk about him. Apparently, to them, he's too poor to be with them. So trash meets trash, that's what my dad said. That very day, I was taken to my grandfather's place, a nice house outside the city with lots of space. They just dropped me and didn't say a word to him. My grandpa Max didn't even bother with them. He just took me in, no questions. The next day, he took me to school in his truck. As we arrived, they started making fun of me. As usual, Brandon was happy to see me, but he was upset with something. I didn't answer his calls or finish his homework for him. He didn't want to hear anything I had to say. We had a slight argument outside of school. When Grandpa saw it, he was about to intervene, but Brandon walked away before he could. Grandpa then looked at me, then asked,
"What was that all about?"
"Nothing. It's fine. That's how he is."
"No, it's not. Stop seeing that guy."
"Brandon is the only one that cares for me. When he cools off, he'll listen. You'll see. I need to go to class now." After that, I went to class after we spoke. Later, Brandon apologized for his outburst. Then he listened to me about what happened, from my parents kicking me out, to what my grandpa said about him. He then told me not to listen, and also not to even talk to my grandpa. He was just jealous, said Brandon. I didn't talk to Grandpa when I got home. He didn't talk to me, so it was a win-win. This went on for about a week. One day in class, Lucy LaRosa, the most popular girl in school, and my bully, started making fun of me. And as always, the school did nothing and no one spoke out.
Hey Fatty, what are you doing?
Leave me alone, Lucy.
I heard your folks kicked you out. Is that true?
None of your business, now leave me.
Mummy and Daddy hate you, just like I do. We all do. You're just a fat, ugly loser who no one cares about, and if you ask me, it's about time they did that. Out with the trash.
After hearing those words, I was so hurt and very angry. I tried to attack her. I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my chest. Then I was dizzy. Then it all went dark. I woke up in the hospital a few hours later. Looks like the stress was what caused this. So I thought, Brandon did not come see me. It was my grandpa I saw when I woke up. We talked for some time just to get my mind off what happened. I was in the hospital for a week and luckily, it was summer break when I was discharged. I went back to Grandpa's place to relax and try and forget all about Lucy. After I got home, I tried to call Brandon, but he didn't pick my calls. I later got a message from him saying he felt embarrassed. Why did I attack Lucy? And then fake passing out and causing a huge fuss. He felt ashamed of me and so on. After that, I was very depressed for days, from what happened at school, to the hospital, living with Grandpa, now this with Brandon. After some time, my depression got worse. I was eating non-stop. I stayed in my room, only coming out to eat then going back in. I gained more weight during this time. It was all too much for me. I wanted it to end. One Saturday morning as I came down for breakfast, as usual with Grandpa cooking, something happened. Loud music was playing in the kitchen, and my grandpa was dancing to someone called James Brown. I've never heard of him before.
Emotional damage!
Despite my protest, he pulled me in for a dance. We danced for 10 minutes, and I hate to say it, but I had fun. The next day, we did the same thing, but with a different music. All old school music like a group called Kool and the Gang, Jimmy Cliff, Bob Marley, Redbone, Earth, Wind and Fire, and a very popular group called the Jackson 5, all of whom I have no clue who they are.
Oh my God!
No! God, please, no! No! No!
After our regular morning dancing, we have a nice breakfast, then we talk. After that, we take long walks in the park. My grandpa used to be in the army, then was a counselor for at-risk youths. He also owned a gym back in the day. He told me things about my dad and grandma. My dad used to be fat as well. He was also bullied a lot. When he got older, he had surgery to make himself thin, and me being overweight just reminded him of that, how he used to look when he was younger. As for my grandma, she was a DJ back in the days. She was one of the few women DJs of the time. The music we've been listening to are from her collection. She even produced some music as well. I could tell from his voice, he really misses her. She's been gone for a long time, so it's just him alone at home. Thanks to his care, I've lost weight. All the dancing, the long walks, the healthy foods have started to show results. Grandpa Max was a loving, caring person. I felt safe with him far better than my folks. I was very happy. After summer break, it was back to school. I got new clothes to go with my new look. On the first day, nobody recognized me. All the boys and girls could not stop staring. Even the teachers couldn't believe it when I said it was me, Janet. It was like I dropped a bomb. The whole school was stunned about the new look. Everyone loved it. They went nuts. Well, not everyone. Some of the students still hated me, like Lucy and her ilk. But the one that really hated my new look was the most surprising. My boyfriend, Brandon, he really hated my new dress, my new look. And the fact that I lost a huge amount of weight as well was what really set him off the most.
What do you think you are doing dressed like this? Why is your hair down like that? Why are you wearing makeup? Why are you wearing jeans? And did you get surgery? You went to the hospital, and you let them cut you open, right? How can you be so stupid if you know what's good for you? Take those clothes off now. People are looking at you. And you are embarrassing me dressed like that. You're such a fool.
Don't you touch me.
What did you say? Don't you talk back to me.
What will you do? Tell me, what will you do? I was such a fool. I didn't see what a pathetic piece of crap you are. You never cared about me. You just wanted to control me. I was sick. I was unhealthy. You never showed concern. You never tried to help me. Now that I've changed, you don't like it. All you cared about was looking good in front of others. By making me look down on myself. We're done. Don't ever come near me ever again. After saying all that, Brandon tried to attack me, but I was faster. I dodged his attack and knocked him out with just one punch, and he was out like a light. After that, the school suspended me. They saw that I was the attacker, so they punished me. When Grandpa heard about what Brandon tried to do and the school's suspension, he was really angry. He then put me in another school. It was a private school for the super rich. How he did it, I don't know. He never told me. Then he went after Brandon and the school. When I asked what he did, he said, "Don't worry about it. All I need to know is it's handled." My new school is a lot better. The students and teachers are nice. I have new friends who like the new me. Surprisingly, they found pictures of me when I was fat. All thanks to Lucy. But they didn't care about it. I decided to go into music. I want to be like my grandmother, produce music and be a DJ like her. Years have passed by like a flash. I'm a successful producer and DJ. I'm living my dream in the big city. I have worked with who's who of the music industry and I'm very happy. One day I got a call from the hospital. Grandpa is sick and needs treatment. As I got to the hospital, I saw my parents there. They were pretending that they care about him. They just did it so people won't talk about them. After all this time, they haven't changed. They don't know I'm a rich producer, since I use a stage name. This works for me. When they saw me, they just ignored me. The doctor said my grandpa will need round-the-clock care for him to recover. Before my folks could say anything, I said he can stay with me in the city. They didn't stop me. In fact, they were very happy. They wanted his house. So with him out of the way, they get it and sell it off. The day I was taking my grandpa, my little brother and sister came with me. They were fed up with our parents. They wanted to get as far away as possible. Our folks considered them both failures, so they let them go. My brother Ross gave his blessings since he knew I was successful and didn't tell a soul about me. When we got to the city, I got my siblings a therapist to help deal with the trauma our parents did to us, and I sent them to school. My brother wants to be a teacher, while my sister wants to be a doctor. As for my older brother, he is now a lawyer. He also cut off our toxic parents. As for my parents, they tried to sell my grandpa's house. The house is still in his name and he is not gone. Plus, they don't have permission to do so. They got arrested for fraud. My brother refused to help. They have been terrible to us for years, so it's karma. During the trial, a lot of things came to light. They are in debt, a big one. That's why they tried to sell his house. They needed money. They lost all their money in a bad deal. Thanks to this, they will go to jail for a long time. My grandpa is a lot better now, and my siblings and I are doing well. We have cut all contact with our parents and are moving on with life. I heard Brandon has been jailed as well. What he tried to do to me, he did it to some other girl. Unfortunately, she's in the hospital. I contacted her knowing what she's been through. I can help her. As for Lucy, she's been cut off from her family. Her non-stop partying and drinking is the reason. Now she has a crappy job and lives in her car. In the end, the wicked got punished. My siblings and I have a wonderful life. My grandpa is better, and he's seeing someone. So now, it's time to see what's at the horizon. That's the end of my story. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a comment and click on the videos for more.